Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks. In this channel, we generally discuss about public cloud design problem statements and their related solution. Today, we are going to talk about Azure Backup for Azure Kubernetes services. What is the problem statements? How to backup and restore containerized applications and data that runs in your Azure Kubernetes services cluster in cloud native way. Now, let's try to understand what is Azure Kubernetes Service Backup and why it is needed. Now, Kubernetes has emerged as the leading platform for deploying containerized application, and many organizations are turning to Azure Kubernetes services to enjoy a managed and efficient container solution. Now, it has become easier to store state within Kubernetes cluster and even run mission critical database within the cluster. As more businesses are adopting stateful AKS cluster, it is important for IT administrator or those solutions to implement robust data protection measures to safeguard their application against accidental deletion, malicious actors, as well as ransomware attacks. To do that, you need to enable a solution where you can do the backup of your Kubernetes cluster as well as the application which is running inside it in a stateful way. And that is where the Azure Backup is coming to picture. Now, if you look into the old techniques, Azure Disk Backup service for Azure Kubernetes persistent volume has been previously used. So that means customers running stateful AKS cluster previously relied on the native Azure Disk Backup capabilities to protect their application stored in a persistent volume. So that means only the persistent volume was getting backed up. While the developers were not only interested in protecting volumes, but also certain application-centric approach where you can completely take the backup of your snapshot or if your namespace from your AKS cluster, as well as you can return it back or you can recover it as soon as possible. So they wanted to back up the entire application, including both the cluster state as well as the volumes. And that is where Microsoft approached towards the AKS Backup service. So, but before that also, Microsoft provides a lot of other capabilities where you can configure explicitly for all those backup capabilities. But as Azure Backup is one of the root backup service with the Azure world, so Microsoft has started looking into how they can leverage the backup service to do the AKS backup with respect to cluster. So with Linux first mindset, Microsoft has evolved Azure Backup Service by leveraging Velero backup and restore capability. Velero is one of the open source software that provides the backup and restore capabilities for Kubernetes cluster, resources and persistent volume. So that Velero open source software has been integrated with Azure Backup, where Azure Backup complements this by offering orchestration and management features. This combination of open source innovation and enterprise grade data protection capabilities within an easy to use Azure native experience significantly reduces the total cost of the ownership and provides peace of mind for the customers to focus on their development. So that is where the backup currently has that capability where you can take the backup of your Azure Kubernetes cluster, the application which is running inside it, along with the persistent volume. Now, how you can do that? So the easy one-step solution is install the Azure Backup extensions in your cluster and it's ready to be backed up. So you do not have to do anything else rather than you just have to install that extension inside your cluster and it will be ready. So after the installation, you can configure backups from the AKS portal or enjoy the convenience of a single pane of glass view from the backup center to manage your AKS backup. As you can see here, I have downloaded this snapshot from the Microsoft portal where you can see the backup is showing the cluster name, the vault subscription and where exactly it is storing and which vault location it is getting stored. So this is how the backup can be visible from the backup window. Now, let's talk about the key features of Azure Backup. Why Azure Backup for Azure Kubernetes services? With Azure Backup, you can configure scheduled backups for both your cluster state and application data, including persistent volume. So you can take the backup of your state of your cluster as well as application data. Second, the cluster state is stored in a blob container, while the persistent volume, that means based on your Azure disk, are backed up as snapshots in a Kubernetes aware manner using the container storage interface driver. Third one, the most important key feature is fine grained control. Here you can do the fine grained control. It provides where you can control the backup from a single namespace to the entire cluster. So you can think about, there are a lot of organizations who generally share a single cluster for multiple applications, and each application has their own namespace. So if any application has different RPO and RTO, and they want to do the backup for their particular RPO and RTO, and they want to schedule it, that means they want to do the backup for those particular namespace, that can be controlled with these capabilities. That means fine grained control can be applied here, making it ideal for organization with shared cluster architecture used by multiple application team or departments. Now with granular namespace level control, you can configure backups for each application based on your required recovery point of object and recovery time object using the backup policy. That means you can define it respective of your application, but inside a single cluster. That is the beauty of Azure Backup, where you can distinguish it very easily. Now you can see here, here the selected resource is showing like it's a full backup, and out of your 20 namespaces within your cluster, you want to do the backup for your 5 namespaces. Then you can select those 5 namespaces, and also you can select the API group, whether it is included or excluded. With that, your backup will be much more smoother with Azure Backup capabilities with Kubernetes services, especially with the Linux capabilities that I understood. So try to use them and make your solution much more robust. As the world is moving towards, and many applications or many organizations are installing databases within the system, especially within the Kubernetes cluster. That means MySQL, Postgre, MongoDB. So Azure Backup for AKS provides the confidence to define specific customization for these databases during the backup, ensuring application consistency. That is the beauty of Azure Backup. So yeah, I got all this information by following the Microsoft link. I have shared these links in the video description. Feel free to go through it. They have really written it much more efficient way. Please go through it. You can get a lot of information. Try to use it and let me know how does it feel. Thanks a lot for listening to the video.